If crypto were the Squid Game series, then the vast majority of Twitter and YouTube crypto influencers are figuratively going to get you shot by moving on red light. Are you ready to see what I mean in the charts? All right, let's go. Bitcoin on the daily chart. You see 10 arrows in front of you. 6 are red, 3 are green, 1 is yellow. The time frame is spanning from 2019 to current price, so I have the years labeled here. What we're going to do in this is analyze what was happening on these 3 green arrows. What do they mean? What type of arrow are we going to form here? And let me give you a hint. It's probably not going to be a green light. These arrows represent 10% drops in a day on Bitcoin, all of them throughout the past couple of years. So this was a green light, meaning if you bought that dip, you were good to go. What was price's relationship to this red line? It was using it as support. Hey, let's go to the next green line. If you bought this dip right here, yes, price was flat for a couple months, but it was the ultimate low. Bitcoin's never touched that price ever in its history since then. Price's relationship to that red line. Take a look. Let me flash you a couple more times here. It was using it as support for the most part. Support, support, support on that wick, and kablam, 10% drop, and it got right back above. Green light used the daily 10 EMA as support. Let's go to the next green light. If you bought this wick down, you were extremely well off, and still since then, that was the last time that Bitcoin ever saw 16,200. More firmly, it was being used as support. Not only is price not using it as support, it was using it as resistance, and the slope was negative. On those green lights, the slope was positive. So what is the chance that buying this wick or, right now is a good idea? It's not very good, and we haven't even gotten to the results of the red one. This could go down a lot farther, and I want to show you this. So this is why I've been ranting and raving. This is why I've been mentioning on Twitter and other posts that statistically, crypto influencers are once again giving you bad advice, and mostly it's the crypto influencers who are selling you on the idea of 90-something K Bitcoin in November. So let me show you the rest of this chart and how bad this could get. I don't want to scare anybody. However, what we're doing is we are looking at facts in the charts and looking at math and statistics. Would you want to make a bet on something in which it's very clear you have a strong statistical likelihood of losing your money? You can't hit like if you don't flip your phones vertically. So flip your phones or get flipped off and smash that like button. Leave me a quick comment, even if it's a simple period without the tampon, or since I'm not covering altcoins too much, let me know what altcoins that you like the most that you want me to cover in the comment section. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. My handle is @CosasVerdes, the number 2, CosasVerdes2, giggity. Let's jump back into the charts. Even though it's statistically improbable, my gut is trying to say, let's get a yellow arrow. Yellow arrow means you had a nice higher low form on a daily candle within about 10% of that wick low. If you made the assumption that this could be a red light, you were still very well off waiting for it price to come down within or a 10% range from that ultimate wick low. You were still very well off simply waiting from a statistical basis, and you got in at an extremely good price. So let's say that that's what happens this time. So if a daily wick came down here back to 45.5K, right? So 45.5, that would be your yellow light. However, from a statistical basis, only 1 of 10 arrows was yellow. All right, so now let's dive into these red arrows and see what happened. What slope was the red line? It was negative. Was price using the red line as resistance? Yes, it was. What happened after this red arrow? On that wick down, price ultimately got, over the next 30 days, it got 9% lower. How much more did altcoins go down during this time? Probably a lot more than 9%, right? Which is why I'm trying to tell people, like, you're getting bad advice from these Twitter and YouTube crypto influencers saying, did you buy the dip? What did you buy? What did you buy? Especially if they're mentioning meme coins. Oh my goodness. Like you like if you're following people saying that type of stuff and mixing in the thought of buying meme coins, in that event, you need to get different sources of information. All right. In this case, the slope was positive. And it still ended up being a red arrow from wick low. How much lower did price go? Over the span of 10 days, it went 7% lower. Do you think that alts from this point to this point lost more than 7%? You can bet your bottom dollar that the vast majority of altcoins did. So you were better off waiting just 10 days to try to catch this area down here, as alts were very likely still bleeding after a small little baby relief rally, which doesn't look like what we're getting at this point. So another one had a 10% drop in one day during this Wyckoff top here, and price ultimately went from that point 10% lower. Alts went even lower. Another one, a positive slope, generally using as support, still was red though, and you ultimately had a 10% drop in price over the course of 7 days. All right. This one here, this was the finale of Wyckoff, right? So yes, Bitcoin only went down ultimately about 2% lower from that wick low, but alts were bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, which is why if you're throwing money at your alts by listening to other influencers out there saying, what did you buy? What did you buy? You're statistically making a bad move. So another 10% drop here, another red arrow when price was generally using the 10 EMA as support, but it was still a red arrow. 23 days went lower, another 8% lower, which means altcoins bled out even more, which having trying to buy this dip immediately and not having waited was a bad idea, especially if you were into alts. So the chance of this being a green arrow, because the slope was negative, the chance is extremely, extremely low. It would be the only case in 2 years that happens. That's why I'm ranting and raving about this. Like, you're getting bad information. All right, like, please, I'm even buying now. It's probably not a good idea because it has a 6 out of 10 chance of making a lower low. And even if it only retags the lows, your alts will make way lower lows. They're going to bleed. They're going to bleed more. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, so let's look at the final tally and some of the statistics behind it. So over a time frame since May 19, you had 10 arrows, 3 were green. On all of those green arrows, the 10 EMA had a positive slope and price was using the 10 EMA as support, and we don't have that situation now. So because that 100% ratio of how green arrows formed, it's more likely that right now we're forming yellow arrows or red arrows, extremely likely, which means in each case that your alts are going to keep bleeding. So wait. I've already left you videos on how to play dips better. So I'm going to leave 2 of those videos right here. Here's one that shows you using the 4-hour RSI trick. And here's another. You can use this. And if you didn't hit like and you're not subscribed yet and you haven't hit that bell, smash the circle that's covering up my face about right now. And y'all just got Timified.